What's up, the land of rumors? Welcome to the next episode of the Chinwag Sessions. Today, I have Rob and KJ from fucking Manners Machine. Lads, what's happening?
Arriba!
Someone had
It's because of the Spanish soap opera thing we did earlier.
You guys missed that earlier. This is why we deleted it. Lads, okay, let's get straight into it. You guys are fresh off a few shows from the launch of your new album, Patterns.
Yeah.
How's it been?
No, it's been good so far. I mean, we did all the launch shows that we could. I mean, we tried to do as many as possible. Some of the cities these days don't have venues anymore, surprisingly, which is ridiculous.
Shock, horror, surprise.
I know. I mean, all these. I mean, it's difficult to run a venue. I grant you that. I mean, Fred does an amazing job here, which is brilliant. But
Well done, Rumours.
Yeah. But you know, a lot of people have a hard time, maybe just because of the area that they're in. You know, I mean, Potch literally has nothing anymore, which is crazy.
It is.
Dance clubs, you know. But I digress. The tour was good though. Like, I mean, we had a big response from the album.
Jeez, like give me,
Yeah,
you needy little hole.
just to touch on that is like, you know, this is our second album release, and off the first album we actually didn't get to tour. We released the album, we played one big album show, and then that was it. We just carried on as normal. We didn't like do anything special. So to be able to go out and like play shows around South Africa and stuff. I mean, we didn't get to do as many as we'd like to have done, but it was still really, really cool. Yeah.
Okay, rad. Let's actually discuss the album itself, Patterns. Now, as you said, it's now the second album that Manners Machine has released. Let's divulge a little bit for us. Like, explain to the people that are watching there, what is Patterns all about?
Patterns was the realization that we hadn't done an album in like 4 years. Basically, after we had recorded the first one, we didn't even have the concept of a second album yet. We were just so focused on you know, playing shows and just being a band and touring playing the first album, that we didn't. It wasn't even like a fetus. Like, there was no thought of a second album. And then a few years later, we realized, like, holy crap! Like, you know, we need to maybe like think of something else. And then it was like, the way the industry is, do we do a full album? Do we do singles by single? Do we do EP? You know, and so we recorded Control. We wrote
sick song.
Recorded Control,
song.
and that was a struggle because, you know, we had been playing these songs on the first album for so long. We hadn't written together in years, and it was a struggle, man. Like, it was hard to, like, because by then everybody's listening to different music, and all the influences have gone out the door, and like to get that closeness to write again. So we wrote that song, did the video, you know, played it for a while.
Lots of fight.
Yeah, we had fights. We had fights.
Thanks for your 2 cents.
Yeah, we had fights with that song, but once we had got that song down, then it was like, then it became quite easy, and then like a couple months or maybe even a year later, I'm not even sure, we were like, okay, let's do the next single, and we had actually written 2 songs, so we were like, let's record those 2. And before we had even released them, then we were like, you know what, it's been too long.
Need to get something out.
Let's do a full album, and then we went into writing mode, and we just started planning out the songs.
You just hammered it out right there. Okay, guys. Obviously, being a South African band, you know, there's pros and cons. But like, what's your favorite thing about being a band out of SA? What's your favorite thing?
I think, just given my experiences in being in this industry, is that, you know, I've in my previous bands and stuff, I've been all over the world, and what I find about South African bands is we have to work harder. And I think
too true.
I think going out to watch South African bands play live is literally watching someone put all their hard work and effort into their craft. Mm-hmm. You know, you go overseas and so many of these bands are just handed everything on a platter. Maybe not so much these days, but at least when I was living in America, you know, you see these bands and they have all the facilities available to them, and they get these deals and they record, and before they've even set foot on a stage.
Yeah.
And then you watch them and you're disappointed. These days it's like, in South Africa, these bands are working their asses off, playing crap shows at little venues all over the country.
But they're banging it out,
But
dude.
they bang it out until like they do it for 5 years, and then these guys are like tighter than anyone. You know, they could run with any international. Maybe they don't have the produced songs or whatever that
Well, even the
internationals
following
do.
that the international bands do. Because
Yeah.
it's almost like an automatic thing. Everyone's like, or a band from America, they sound cool. They must be
Yeah,
amazing.
but also it's that whole like if the radio feeds you a song enough times, the first time you hear it, you'll be like, oh god, this song is dreadful. You'll hear it 3 more times, and then you're falling you're falling asleep to the song because it's all you hear all day, and then
Yeah.
the next thing it's like you bought the album and you're like, what just happened?
Anyway, guys, last question. What advice do you guys have for the people that, aspiring musicians? You guys been doing this for years, growing, working. What little 2 cents can you give the guys just to help them out and find their feet?
We'll do a shared answer. When it comes down to it, at the end of the day, as simple as it gets, right? There's 2 concepts that I like to think people should have, regardless of their experience and their history and what they've done. Number 1 is just do it.
Damn straight.
Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Don't let anybody stop you. Just fucking play. Was I allowed to say fucking?
Of course. Of course. I've said it numerous times today, so it's okay.
And the second one though, I've forgotten. It's okay, so we'll fill in the rest.
Basically,
And this is why vocalists shouldn't speak too much.
basically, my thing is don't be afraid to pay your dues.
Damn straight.
If you're starting out, just play every single show you get. Don't expect money because it's not going to be there even when you get bigger. Sorry.
Sexual innuendo.
But yeah, don't be afraid to pay your dues. Play every show. Don't think that you're ever better than any other band or you deserve that. Just play for the fun of it, and then eventually everything will unwind. Like that's the biggest thing I can think of.
Oh, dude, I think that's actually seriously quality advice. But KJ, Rob, it's been fantastic having you guys on the Chinwag sessions.
Oh, Chinwag.
Finally, we got it right. Guys, have a banger. We'll see you shortly. Peace.